Christmastide, as the song tells us, is just 12 short days. Such a short time to dwell with the wonder of the Incarnation. Our Christmas Eve, Christmas Day reading from the Gospel of Luke recalled for us the ordinariness of Jesus' physical birth, mixed with the holy mystery of the angel's message of God's love for the world to the shepherds. Today we're treated to John's epic poem that in a way sums up both aspects of the events we and all Christians celebrate during this brief season. The poem is justifiably remembered for its proclamation, and the Word became flesh and lived among us. But it offers us much more concerning the substance of the Incarnation. In fact, this prologue to the Gospel of John is probably the most timeless and succinct statement of New Testament Christology and its understanding of the person and work of Jesus Christ available. In past years, I've shared with congregations a wonderful quotation from Dr. Francis J. Maloney that addressed the passage verse by verse, clarifying that Christology. Today, however, I'd like to focus my remarks not on this more abstract consideration of the passage, but rather on the so what of the message. What does it mean for you and me in our daily lives? I'd like us to consider this morning, and would encourage you to reflect upon in the coming days, how we respond to the gift of the Word among us. Through God's loving gift to us, we've become the adopted children of God, but we do have the freedom to accept or reject that gift. Unlike many of the Christmas gifts we may have received, this is an ongoing gift of love, light, and life, which Jesus offers to us, and one which he continues to offer in the midst of the many darknesses that crowd in and threaten our everyday lives. All we have to do is choose to accept it. And there are many darknesses and terrors, much confusion and insecurity in our lives, aren't there? God gave humanity the law and sent us the prophets in their time. But God saw that it wasn't enough and decided to become personally involved, not to punish or frighten or scold or threaten or any of the other things that are often attributed to God, or the church for that matter. No, God came to tell us that we are loved deeply, truly, unconditionally, and forever. The Logos, the Word, is so close to God that it's the mechanism through which creation happens as God speaks all that is into being. Or maybe, if you're like me and love Narnia, you think of Aslan singing creation into being. And it's this same Logos that becomes particular flesh in the person of Jesus of Nazareth. Wisdom Sophia of the Old Testament was responsible for coming into the hearts of the people and drawing them to God. Likewise, the Logos, the Word, Jesus, is now responsible for bringing God's loving light into our darkness and drawing us into union with God. Allow yourselves to be brought into that union. And if you think this message isn't for you, you're not special enough, important enough, good enough, just think for a minute about those to whom God did manifest the message. One could argue that it was some no-account shepherds, an unwed teenage mom, a common carpenter, and even astrologers practicing a whole different religion. God made it clear that no one was going to be left behind. The message of love is meant for everyone. No qualifications, no excuses. Through God's incarnation in Jesus, God has chosen to dwell among God's people in real relationship. Through Jesus, God literally experienced our reality. Jesus knew joy, pain, suffering, and loss. He learned what it is to live, to love, to grieve, and to die. Often, when we think of God, all concepts of the divine are beyond our grasp. In Jesus, our knowledge of God is given particularity, and the possibility of relationship is made a reality. Grasp it as a reality of your life. The Logos was with God, as darkness and light were separated when creation was new. Through the incarnation of the Logos in Jesus of Nazareth, the Logos is with us now, today, every day, providing the eternal light of God's love as we confront our personal darknesses because of the personal relationship with God that Jesus makes available to us. Allow the Logos to speak the light of love into your life. Allow yourself to choose that light over darkness. Allow yourself to become enlightened and enlivened. Accept the reality of the loving relationship God wants to have with you through Jesus. Truly let Jesus become incarnate in your hearts and lives this Christmastide. Let this be the everlasting gift you take from Christmas this year. But don't hoard that gift. Let the light of love spill from you. Let it be the inspiration and motivation of your words and actions. We're God's hands and heart in this world. Let us also, and above all, be God's love in this world. Let this be the first Sunday of a year wherein you emulate and actualize God's grace, mercy, and love, such that the light might continue shining on, even into the darkest of places. I'd like to close with Howard Thurman's wonderful poem, The Work of Christmas, as a fit accompaniment to John's prologue. When the song of the angels is stilled, when the star in the sky is gone, when the kings and princes are home, when the shepherds are back with their flocks, the work of Christmas begins, to find the lost, to heal the broken, to feed the hungry, to release the prisoner, to rebuild the nations, to bring peace among the people, to make music in the heart. Amen.